On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the things that you need to own if you are a business owner when it comes to your website and domains and all the things. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. I am going to record this episode for the third time right now. I'm so annoyed. My computer is full, so my storage is like being a little bish. So I had to basically delete a bunch of stuff, which is cool. It's fine. But also I'm like, this is not going to work. So I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll hang tight. So with that being said, going to dive right into the episode today because I've said my life and business updates multiple times, and the long and the short is that it finally rained in California. Yay. My photo wall that I was making in my office is completed. Another yay. It looks amazing and I love it. I will probably take a picture of it and put it on socials because I just finished it tonight. It's Sunday. And yeah, that was basically the whole shebang. But what I wanted to talk about today is, or what I have talked about, and now it's the third time talking about it, goodness gracious, is the fact that when you own a business and you have a business name or you just have a website, I need to know and I need to make sure that you own all of the things associated with it. Now, a little bit of a backstory. I have been on multiple discovery calls. I've worked with multiple clients. I say multiple. I've worked with many people at this point who have had this happen. Another person owns their domain name. So www.whateverthatis.com, someone else owns it. And by someone else, I'm referring to a web developer, family friend who built the website, and now that friend owns the domain because they bought it when they made the website. It might be another business owner, a co-owner, what have you, but the business owner or let's just say one of the owners does not have access to the domain name. So number one, we need to make sure that you own your domain name. So the reason being is that it is one of a kind. So if someone else, let's just say it's your mom's friend's cousin who randomly built your website because you were just starting out, didn't want to spend money on, a designer, but, Joe does websites on the side. So he bought your domain for you and now Joe owns it. Well, if something happens to Joe, you can no longer manage your domain. So your domain is just stuck where it is, which can be okay. But I would never want that to be the case, because if by chance something needs to change with the domain name, like something simple like adding a record on the back end of your DNS settings is what it's called when you have a new email address, like something so simple as that, you can't do it. And when that becomes the case, you're essentially in a pickle and you can't change it. So, and it's one of a kind. So it's not like you can just, call somebody to get access to it. It's genuinely one of the most important assets of your business, and you need to make sure that you own it and you have the login information. So by owning it, what I mean is you can log into it, you can manage it, and you pay for it. So you do all those three things. The same thing goes for your website. So on the back end of your website, you should be the owner of your website, which means that you can edit it if you want to. You can control who also can edit your website. Amazing. And then also you pay for it. So you can log in, you can pay for things, you can cancel your plan if you want to, you can make edits to the site, you can add a manager to the site, what have you. What I need to make sure you have is access to the back end of your website. Again, what happens is Joe, let's just use Joe for an example. That person designs your website and then they maintain ownership of the website. So if they manage the site, fine. That's okay. We can have a manager. I manage a lot of websites. However, my clients are the owners of the website. So if at any point in time we stop working together, or if I fall off the face of the earth, they still have access to the back end of their website as an owner. not just an admin. They actually own their website, which is super, super important. So we talked about owning your website, owning your domain name, anything else that you have access to for your business. So another big thing is obviously your email address. You should be owning the back end of that. So actually logging into the admin console, you should be able to own that or log into that, manage that, add new users, pay for it, what have you. And that's really the biggest takeaway here is like just own your stuff. And I know this might seem like it's a really short episode and you're like, duh, of course, who doesn't own their business assets? I will tell you, there are plenty of people who don't own their business assets and have to either contact someone else to get access, or that person has literally fallen off the face of the earth and they no longer have access. A lot of this happens when you hire a web designer. I don't want to say that it doesn't have a good reputation. It's just a website designer and they just ghost you because that happens apparently. I don't understand that. I really don't understand it, but oftentimes people will hire a website designer. The website designer will design the website on their back end, if you will, and then they'll never transfer the website over to the client and they won't transfer the domain over to the client. I personally will tell you that when you work with me, I have you buy everything. So you purchase your subscription, you purchase your domain, and then I do the things. Because when you pay for something, the platforms that I use, whoever has the credit card on file, that is the owner. So even if on the back end of the website, it happens to say that I own your website or someone else owns your website, if your name is on the credit card that is paying for the thing, you are the technical owner. So if you were to contact support and say, hey, I pay for this thing, but I'm not listed as an official owner, I want to be the official owner, they can make that happen because you are paying for it with your credit card, which is why I never pay for things for my clients because I don't want to be the owner. I want them to be the owner. That literally is part of my ethos. So at the end of the day, the message that I want to leave you with is that if you own your things already and you know that you own them, your domain, your website, any sort of software that you're using for your business, just make sure you have your login info somewhere. What email do you log in with? What password do you log in with? I find that oftentimes people will have multiple emails that they created when they first had their business. So they might have started with the @Gmail account and then they transferred to a domain email. So info@whateverdomain.com. And a lot of the logins for some of the quote unquote important stuff like your domain is under that Gmail address. That's fine as long as you know that, right? So just know that that's what you're logging in with. So if you don't have that ownership of your stuff, and I always say like, make sure you do. So go on the back end of your domain, go on the back end of your website. Can you log in? Can you not log in? Do you know what the login is? Can you edit things if you wanted to edit things? Go check, go see. And if the answer is no, or if you're like, I don't even know where my domain lives. I don't know if it's on GoDaddy. I don't know if it's on Squarespace. I don't know if it's on Wix. I have no idea. Namecheap, figure that out because that also is really important. And if you need help, obviously I can help you on a coaching call. I've actually done this with a couple people. We go, we dive in, we figure out where is this located, who has the login info, how can we get access to it? So we definitely can make that happen. But the biggest thing is that if you have no idea, make sure you figure it out. And if you do, make sure you have a list of all of your logins somewhere. I don't care where it is. Just make sure it's somewhere that you have access to. So that way you know exactly where to find everything. Because the thing is we need to make sure that you have access to and own your business assets. Your domain is one of a kind. Literally, you cannot get two of the same domain. So if you lose that, you have to change your domain name, which if it's your business name, that sounds crazy to me. So just make sure you own it. It is the best practice. And even if you intend on making 0 changes for the rest of forever, which isn't really the best thing to really anticipate, but even if you have no intention on changing anything ever, still make sure that you own it because we want to make sure that all of your business assets are underneath your credit card, your name, because then even if a 911 did happen and you needed to change something, or even, God forbid, something closed down, or you had to change your business name, whatever it may be, you can do that. All right. For the third time, goodness gracious, I really hope I can figure this out. The storage thing is driving me bonkers. So really hoping I can nail that down. But for the third time, thank you so much for listening. Please report back if you have questions about this, or if you're concerned about something regarding this, or if you, find out that you need to gain access and you have no idea how. I understand. Like, some people have no idea where things are hosted. I've dealt with that. I understand. I can help you. So just let me know. Okay, friends. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time.